In this episode, we're talking Austin disc golf being on our first podcast, and our Airbnb got broken into, but that's just disc golf. And now we're in the Austin stretch. Because on this episode, we're going to talk about the Open in Austin and USWDGC because we were at Austin for like 2 weeks. So
For
might as
2
well
weeks.
throw it in the podcast.
But before that, we're going to start off because we forgot about it in
Yeah.
our last one.
We did. Sorry, Ryan.
I know, we dropped the ball, man.
Yeah, that's how.
We're still trying to figure out what we're doing with this whole like podcast thing.
The cool thing about this, every time we do this, we're like, dang, we forgot to talk about this, we forgot to talk about that. And
Oh, yeah.
And then I feel
We
like
have
we
so
sit
much
here
stuff.
and talk like too much. And as we go back and
That's what the
got more
Patreon's
people.
for.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so before we left Waco, when we were at Waco for 2 weeks or an extended amount of time.
Yeah, I think at least a week and a half we were at Waco. It felt like forever. That's for sure.
The final day, we ended up interviewing the TD, Ryan Draper. He made sure when we were on the course that we had everything we were handling. He was a fan, so he got and understood what we were doing, sat him down for an interview on how Waco got to be what it was. Because at this point, it was the first time it was an Elite Plus event, the history that goes along Waco. There's a lot to talk about for that, so we got to sit down with him and
He's got
interviewed
cool
him.
stories.
Yeah, it just sucks that the video flopped
yeah.
and shit, but it was like fun to do, and it's cool to tell the people. So
Yeah,
but-
like I kind of like giving the TD shine. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Especially with
yeah.
what they put up with, man.
that was
for
last time
sure.
we did it. I'm pretty sure on the year.
I know we kind of ran into some like. I know we had some trouble.
Schedule was just
yeah.
got tight. You know, it's
Yeah.
just trying to line up logistics is hard to do. But
Exactly.
we mean,
and the
it's
last
cool to
thing
do it.
the last thing like a TD wants to do is like the Monday after like hit an interview.
mhm.
Like, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
sometimes they're more
Like,
worried about having people play their course. But
yeah,
whatever.
for sure. So it was a little bit, yeah. But Ryan was great. I do also remember like losing our mics, and we thought it was at Rock and John's crib. So I drove all the way back to Rock and John's crib.
Yeah,
We get
I
to
remember
usually
that.
we get to every stop early, so we were there early. We're about to set up. We're trying to figure out where to put the camera, and we're like, where the fuck are the mics?
Mhm.
That was another oh shit moment, dropping the ball. And like because just like every other pro, everybody was tapped into Rock and John's electric, so like we were charging stuff. So like I thought we might have left it on the shelf. So immediately drive back to Rock and John's, can't find it, and hit back the course. All right, now we're gonna figure out how to do this. And I look in like a spot that we never put stuff anywhere, and there were the mics.
Yep.
And then
Makes
yeah.
sense though. You know,
So, and it
when
worked.
things can go wrong, they go wrong
Uh,
for us. I don't think we've ever done something without a technical difficulty
Sure.
or some problem pop up. So
Filming on 18 though at Waco was pretty cool.
it was
That was
cool.
pretty legit.
And like I said, the story itself that we got to hear was pretty dope too from Ryan. So
Absolutely.
I was
yeah.
glad we were able to tell it.
Waco's a great stop. That's
But
worth
from
it.
Waco, then we only had to go not too far away
No.
then to Austin, and I don't think we had any plan or ideas of what we were gonna do, but we were headed that way.
Yeah, it was just the next stop. Austin was kind of there, so this was definitely a little bit, certainly more, more of a city vibe than Waco.
Oh yeah, for sure. Waco's no
Going, yeah, it was like a college town with Magnolia mixed with like some disc golf, and then Austin, it was like full city vibe. My biggest impact of Austin, like I've gone on record and say like Massachusetts driving's horrible. Austin's a close second.
Do you remember Texas? sucks.
Austin has like 8-lane highways with no exits, and like you have to do U-turns at awkward points. It's just trash. And I don't know. They feel like they've been building this goddamn highway for at least 12 years, and I haven't even left there. And I feel like if I go back, it's just gonna be brutal. But yeah, that was my biggest impression out of man. And if you miss something, like if you ever missed your turn on that one of those highways, brutal, bro. I remember, especially where the Open at Austin tournament was. It was on that like golf course. That was like, it was like right off the highway, and if you
Mhm.
missed it, you're going so far out of the way. And especially like with us having media parking, it was just nuts. And we missed it like 3 times. I think I only got it right on the last day.
Well, at least you figured it out.
But yeah, and we also stayed at, so the interesting, Austin was kind of cool because we stayed half of it was at Cracker Barrel that was like 30-40 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had some Airbnb action that's fun in itself that we'll get to shortly.
Well,
But we also had a podcast we went on.
we did have a podcast that I think we just randomly got a DM one day from the Barely Stable boys that asking if we
No, it was a little different than that.
was it?
Yeah.
How?
Trevor, I met Trevor on 17 and Trevor
Yeah.
worked for him.
Yeah.
So like at Waco, at Lake Waco, me and the Gem were sitting on 17 to get cuts. And they also had a stationary camera. And
Mhm.
Trevor was on that.
Yeah.
So Trevor was filming for DGBT. And we just got to chatting to him. Jem bought him like an energy drink. Remember those Raz like Texas brand energy
Yeah.
drinks that like so yeah, anyways, so Jem buys him that and I start chatting him with him and he's like he knew who we are. He was a fan.
Mhm.
And then like he's like, yeah, I work on our own podcast in Austin, yada yada. And then like so that kind of initiated the DM. So like Trevor was doing, I think he did like the engineering of it. I don't remember. Yeah, I know he wasn't. They had like 5 guys. Like this was not a 2-man production podcast like this event. There's like a posse and there's a room. But man, that barely that studio made me jealous. I do remember that.
It was a super legit studio.
Yeah.
It was the most impressive studio I've ever.
Yeah, and I think that was like our first podcast as Disc Golf World. And then I kind of just
together,
like
yeah, right.
together. And then I kind of just pulled a Will Ferrell and like just blacked out. I don't even remember what we talked about and just like spit. But I do remember it being fun.
Yeah, I don't remember much from it in general. I remember I wore sunglasses and that was like the biggest. I was like, I don't know if I go on.
We played Roy G with them too.
Yeah, right before. That was cool just to get like a little showing around from like locals.
Yeah.
I always like that perspective from getting, the actual course how it's
And
supposed to
Trevor's
play.
also like, man, Trevor's a media guy and he's also like kind of an aspiring trying to get out there and play some tournaments too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of neat having like his feedback at Roy G, which I was kind of fairly impressed with Roy G. It was all right. I would have thought it'd be like a little bit harder. This is like Jefferson's blacked out on like Texas.
Dude, I don't remember anything.
Like if it's not HEB,
I just don't remember anything from Texas. We played other courses that I remember. The Texas string, there was a week span where I had three or 4 aces because I was coming off Waco, and then we I don't even remember when we played the courses, but I'm just talking about Texas courses or Austin courses right now. We played. I want to say we played Circle C first, and I got an ace on like hole 4, and then like 2 holes later, I got another ace, and that was the first time I've ever gotten 2 aces in a round. That was kind of cool. And you want to say anything about Circle C, or can I keep busting through?
Circle C was, I just remember it was pretty cool. Man, Circle C was like what, like if I could draw somebody what a Texas course looks like, it's Circle C.
Yeah, I don't remember besides getting 2 aces. That's literally all I remember.
Like I remember like the rocky terrain, and then it had like I don't know the actual trees, but like they're like stringy trees, and like it was like definitely Texas disc.
A lot of low ceiling shots, I
Yeah.
feel. And then we went either a couple days later or whenever we ended up playing Armadillo, because when you're in that area,
You
that
have to play
vicinity, and
Dillo.
you do any sort of disc golf content, you have to go there,
Yes.
which we did. And we walked away with 3 aces total, I believe.
Yes.
Right? So I would consider that a success.
Yes.
We did the YouTube content creator thing there, you know?
The standard. It's
You hit one of the cool ones.
I did.
On the slide.
Then I tried to tell Jay about it, and he made fun of me.
I did?
No, not you, Jay. Yeti.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. That was
and he razzed me for it, bro.
He did, yeah.
He's like, he
still
coached that. And I was like, what, bro? Come on. Hall of Famer just ragged on me.
You did. But you got one of the cool ones, though.
I got the one that, like, huh?
You got the gimmicky one, no?
It's a fucking all gimmick. What the fuck are you talking
No,
about?
I got the lame ones.
Like, the entire thing is a gimmick.
Oh, I mean,
I got, like, probably one of the most recognizable
yeah, the
ones.
slide, no?
Yeah, with the slot machines on the slide, which is the easiest way to get the ace on it. It's not the roller. And then it has, like, everybody knows the one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Didn't you hit it, too? I think you hit it after,
No,
like,
I got the dumb
times.
one. I got the hanging basket one.
Oh, yeah, that
like,
one
that's
is
what I'm saying.
dumb.
Like, that's not really gimmicky. That's like normal disc golf shit, you know?
Dumb.
If you're going to hit any of the cool ones in Armadillo, you don't want that one.
Yeah, I mean, you remember how crowded it was? That was the only shitty thing about it.
Other people filming and other groups in front of us. You remember that? And it was just
everybody.
everywhere.
Yeah, it was like a regular off week because it was during USWDGC. So it was an off week for MPO. They're out there. Then you had all USWDGC there.
Yeah.
And it was just like...
it was packed.
Yeah.
It was fun, though. It was... It lived
You
up to
have to
what I
go.
wanted it to be. Like
Yes.
didn't expect more from it.
No, you shouldn't either.
I
We
thought
did not
that
play the actual course. I've heard great things about the actual course, but it
yeah,
was also like an hour out of the way, and it just didn't. You know what I mean?
it
It's
just yeah.
yeah,
I think
things don't line up sometimes.
yeah. Sometimes you can't play as much disc golf as you want.
I
You
know
want,
it's
you want
such
to
a
play
bummer.
disc golf all the
It's such a
time, but you
bummer.
can't.
But yeah, but Armadillo definitely the
It's just the mini golf with disc golf.
Yeah.
Like, it really is, and you should be okay with that.
yeah,
I feel.
absolutely. Yeah, get your postcard, get your shot, get your post.
Get your
get your like, hey, I've
record
been
you throwing the sign hole. I know
I've been
you want
here.
to.
Yeah, precisely.
If you
Like,
don't walk away with an ace, though, you have to play again. I feel.
yes.
You have
No, you're
to
not
get
allowed
the
to leave without
experience.
getting an ace. I think that should be a rule. I think it should be like, yeah, don't tell them you're playing. But it's all day, right? Didn't they say it was all day? I don't
I
fucking
don't know.
remember.
We paid though, which is
Yeah.
surprising.
Cool disc shop, by the way, they also had too.
I remember
That was
that.
more one of the more unique, cool.
You kind of
little
have to
stuff.
if you have that course and you
You're
don't
right.
have something cool with it,
Yeah, you better be weird.
right?
Yeah,
You have a
yeah.
dinosaur on hole one, and you don't have some sort of pro shop, and you become whack.
Yeah. But yeah, you do. I fully agree. You have to get an ace sometime before you go. And you just keep throwing if
You
you,
just
don't.
keep tossing, yeah.
But yeah, like they're
It's the experience.
I will say, like, also though, like the ones that you see are kind of like the ones that everybody remembers and the ones that always show. The ones in between those are kind of, some of them are like misses.
There's so much more filler holes than you ever realize. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of in a way.
There's because you never people record the famous ones. You see
Yes.
like 4 holes or
The
5
spaceship
holes.
one, yeah.
You're throwing up in the one. You're throwing the sign.
signs. Yeah.
Me, like at one point, I was like, "There's a lighthouse hole that doesn't surprise me here, but I've never seen this shit." You know, like stuff like that. Or
It is missing a fucking windmill. Like if you're gonna go like
Yeah.
mini golf, like get the windmill in there.
but
And
yeah,
I think there's, man, I will say this, like there's definitely like there's a market for this. Like obviously, like you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, like I like
this is like for everybody. Like you don't,
for sure.
you're not walking away with plus 13s if you're really bad. You can still walk away with plenty of birdies, ace opportunities every hole, and they're unique shots.
Great for kids. Like
Yeah.
yeah, man, this is like get it right. But Austin in general, as far as disc golf, was nuts.
Which is
Nah.
pretty good.
I will say this, like seems to be the popular opinion right now is everyone's gonna start telling the DGBT what they should do with their money. It's kind of been like the thing in disc golf right now. Don't get me wrong, I do plenty of it also.
We started that
I
shit.
do plenty of
Come
it
on.
also. But everybody always wants to talk about like, hey, city courses, metro courses. Everyone likes to throw that out. What Austin's doing is absolute legit. That property, as far as Sprinkle Valley, where the USWDGC was, on a brewery, one of the greatest venues on tour. And if they combine that with, I can't remember the other
Was it
course.
Harvey Pennick?
Ooh, yes,
one,
good
right?
fucking pull.
Gotcha.
That's a great fucking pull.
Gotcha,
Knuckles
bro.
on that one. Good
Gotcha.
job, Harvey Pennick. As soon as you said, it, I was like, he's fucking right. Good for you.
I know
So
disco.
yeah, if they could combine that into, because it's a 4-day, right? Isn't that
Which
one a
one?
plus event?
The Open at Austin.
I think that's like one of the first
Well,
plus events.
I want to say so. I want to agree with you. I don't know, but that sounds right. It's not Waco.
If
I know
anyways, that was a rumor back at fucking
back
at
when we were there.
USWGC. That was the talk of this was going to be
Mhm.
they're going to get the plus event. It's going to be a 2-2 sprinkle in this. That's what everybody told us. Every pro, every employee, everybody was saying it out loud at that stop.
And I don't know if that's confirmed yet, but if you're hearing it now, or maybe that's true.
Yeah, if
Go ask if you're from Austin.
if you didn't hear, if you were spectating and you didn't hear that, like your ears were off.
Mhm.
But also, so yeah, what they have there, Sprinkle Valley is insane.
You played that one too.
Yes,
that was
a
fun.
great course. And that's gonna age. It's gonna get better as it ages. It's one of
Mhm.
those. But like great wooded course, a good differing course that's from Harvey Pennick. Like Harvey Pennick's a little more open. So
and
like
stuff, yeah.
it's gonna be great. And like as far as spectating, huge beer garden, huge brewery, like it's it, man. Like what Austin's doing, I was telling Jay, like Austin is probably in our travels the closest stop that has the potential to be the next Charlotte.
He used the word Mecca. That just
Yeah, everybody likes
disgusts
this.
me.
Yeah, everybody loves to say
I hate
Mecca,
dude.
But like, if you can get, I know it's man, because it is a city, so I don't know like how many more courses you can get. But like, if you can get like another solid one or two somewhere in that area, and like destination wise, it's great. Austin was great. You
I
know
think
what I mean?
what's important too, and after we visited Delwood and talked to Sean, community is huge. So if the barely stable guys, because I so feel bad, I don't know the guy's name, but you know, the guy who owns another round now.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys need to take advantage, you Trevor, take the media with Trail Candy, take them, get the community together, and all of Austin disc golf. Just focus on that and just watch
Yeah.
as the scene explodes. Be that North Carolina because soon they're gonna miss out if they're not taking advantage of all the people that they have. And everything that we heard down there is Texas disc golf is uber
Oh
competitive.
yeah, that was what
And
they all
to
like
me,
to say.
like I agree, there probably is. But when you talk to someone like the Northeast and that scheme of tournament and you know the complexity of that, bring that
Yeah.
to a community that wants to bring media that you know Trevor take notes do that down there and succeed. Austin I think is right now the best opportunity to do that, so I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Even on a bigger scale, I think Austin is the place to go because you can do that year round too. Like it's warm
Yeah.
ish, warm enough, you know.
Yeah.
We get like
We
snow
were
and
not there in
stuff.
summer.
Like,
Also, I do want to
yeah.
state like our Texas talk was pure. We're talking February, March. So
Mhm.
yeah, our weather Texas
I
experience.
was still wearing hoodies and
Yeah, sometimes there was
you
some
know.
like rainy, cold days, and then there's other days
Mhm.
where you're like full sweat, t-shirt and shorts. So yeah, but like Austin was cool,
The
and
only
then
other thing I can think of sprinkle that happened to us was that guy pulled up on when we were playing mid round, big disc energy on his camera,
ooh
and I
yeah,
don't know. He's like on YouTube. I'm sure he still posts stuff.
yeah,
And I remember him pulling up on the camera, and we got
dude,
him.
like
And we
full
did,
paparazzi,
yeah, it was
bro.
awesome. It was so
Yeah.
funny.
So we're in Austin. Trevor's hooked it up, and to give you a little bit of the lay of the land, like DGBT hooked up Trevor and another cameraman who was actually out east.
Owen,
Yeah, Owen, cool dude too.
yeah, he's homie.
And so that both of them were stuck sitting in this Airbnb, and it was kind of like a smaller like townhouse,
Mm-hmm.
like a very like an old small townhouse, and like I said, big enough backyard to where I was sleeping in the van pretty casually. But you're also like stacked in on each other, and so one night we're just hanging out late, vibing. You know what I mean? Like that's the only downside with like hanging out with people is like when you want to go to bed. Like
Well,
sometimes you
dude, you had
can't.
the van. You could go out.
Yeah, like
I'm in
me,
the
I'm like, guys,
living
I'm out.
room.
Like then I pulled like the old man card, like I'm tired. Like your bed is in the living room area. That's what kind of sucks also with being on the road or like pack house and like sleeping at someone else's spot. Like
This trip it wasn't so bad, but sometimes when you get the couch or your bedroom is the common space, is
yeah.
you are awake with the first person and you go to bed with the last person.
Yeah.
And
And those aren't the same people often.
no, they're usually never.
So like yeah, so he's sitting in there, but I remember we're all hanging out late. I don't remember what day it was. And like we're kind of hanging out inside outside. I think we had a couple of beers. We're drinking some. I remember Trevor put us on to HEB, and then like what was the local beer that he had us some like local Texas beer that he was having us drink. It was also cheap.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
It's
I
like
do
a
remember.
Milwaukee Beast version of Texas beer.
Yeah.
And like so like
Yeah.
I do remember just drinking like piss beer real late. And then all of a sudden like we just hear like a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're indoors
loud pop.
shitting, like bullshitting. We just hear like a loud fucking pop. Like we're like, what the fuck is that?
Startled everyone. Everyone's jumping.
Yeah, like
what the-
everyone jumped. And
Who
like, bro,
killers?
Trevor went in like full fucking protect mode.
He
And
was
then
ready
this
to
is where he's also
kill.
like, this is also where like Trevor was kind of like telling us like Austin's pretty bad place to stay and there's like a lot of tweakers and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, really, bro? This seems like pretty fucking
Well,
like tame.
to be fair, everyone in Waco also was hyping up the
Oh,
people
I do
in
remember
Austin
that.
were weird. and
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with
Yeah,
people
be careful in Austin. Like that's all we
Yeah.
heard. Like, anyways, and so like Trevor is like, yeah, fucking goddamn tweakers, and he's like, fucking like goes into like full
Hey,
like I'm gonna.
hey.
I don't know, man. I turn around. Trevor has a bat. It was weird. He really didn't have a bat, but if there was a fucking bat, Trevor would have a bat.
Trevor was ready to
Like,
go. He was
dude,
ready to
yeah,
all
like
the
that dude was
conflict.
about it, bro. He was ride or die at that point. And like Jay is like in the background just trying to assess stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
yeah.
And we're investigating, right? Like we don't know. Like this is just a random fucking sound.
Yeah.
And we're like, and like for us, it's weird because it's like we're at an Airbnb. What the fuck's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, like, so we decided to go outside at some point, and we realized the fucking patio door. This is also kind of the way you got in, like for what, like the parking lot was behind. I completely forgot that parking lot was behind the unit, so like you didn't walk through the front door. You always walk through the patio of this Airbnb, and you had like a little like fenced in lot, like where you could sit in, and like so, like you said, we'd be out there drinking, chilling at night, copacetic. Anyways, we go out there, fucking whole patio doors like just popped,
Shattered.
yeah, it just broke. And we're like, how the fuck does that happen? Like, right? Like,
Yeah.
part of me thinks it's like an old house. I'm like, nah, man. Like, how the fuck does this happen? And like, we're trying to assess this, and then like, all of a sudden, like, there's some random fucking dude yelling in the night, and he's like, "Hey." And we're like, fucking, and here's Trevor ready to fight anybody who's like popping off. And like, this dude's like, yeah. And like, we're trying to assess, like, did this dude just try to break in? And like, he's that fucked up. Like, I literally, like, this dude was like trashed. Like, just, you could tell by like him talking, like, this dude's gone. Like, that's all we assessed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did this dude really try to break in?
I saw. We should also say the size of the rock that he threw that we saw.
Yeah, all right. I was getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I feel good.
I was gonna get to
Okay.
that. But anyways, so like we start hearing like this dude, some dude talking to us, and Trevor's taking lead. Like, this ain't my Airbnb. I'm back off. I'm chill. I don't live here. Trevor's from Austin.
Well, this is at the point where Trevor was like telling us how he wanted his job to be working with the DGBT and filming. And this was how he got to this position was like super weird. It was just looking for people. Now he has a job. Now they needed more people for the next event, and they said, "Trevor,
yeah, kind of just hop, bro.
Yeah, would you want this Airbnb?" And he's not gonna say no. And now all of a sudden, that Airbnb is damaged.
Yeah, and like so and like all of a sudden, this dude's slurring out his words, yelling at us, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And we're like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? You just broke this patio door." He's like, "I didn't break the patio door. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the patio door is broken. Like, you're talking to us."
Yeah.
And Trevor's trying to translate, and it's like, man, we needed a translator because nobody understood this dude. Anyways, turns out the dude, all he cared about was to get our attention that he threw a nugget of marijuana on our side of our fence.
Wow, you went government name for it? That's wild.
Sure.
That's wild.
I did go marijuana. I hate when people call it weed. Completely didn't realize he broke the fucking door. He just wanted us to know that he was sharing, and sharing is caring. So then Trevor like tries to open the gate, and the dude just fucking takes off. Like, I think the dude finally realized the patio door is broken.
Well, Trevor was not nice.
And Trevor was also yelling at, Trevor's like, "No, bro, I don't give a shit what you threw. The door's broken."
He kept asking if he wanted to hang out and
Yeah.
party with him. He's like, "You broke the door." Like, he wasn't comprehending that we didn't want to hang out with him and be his friend because right now he was the one breaking the shit.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of on board.
I was just sitting back,
but
like,
I also was not. My
fun.
name was not on this Airbnb. But anyways,
I was just thinking, I was like, damn, dude. Like, every time we get into situations like this, something ends up bad. We've never had a thing just go smooth in our lives.
we've had like so many. Yeah, we had so many weird ones.
This is one of like the
whether it's
bad
shitting in
Airbnb
hotel
things.
fucking bushes, like Jay also admitted on this trip, or like whatever, bro. Like we find ourselves in some weird situations. One of them being a guy. Anyways, so we got to get to who the guy is because we haven't even gotten to that. So Trevor tries, like, mean mugs it, like tries to go like open this like gate because, like I said, it was fenced in. You open up the gate, and the dude just takes off. The dude's just gone. And we're just like, what the fuck happened here? What is going on, right? And then like all of a sudden, like we're just sitting in the living room, like trying to figure out what the next move is. Like, holy fuck, someone tried to break this. And they're talking about like who texting the boss, like all this shit. And then like we're also like half drunk, shit talking the whole weirdness of this awkward moment.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we'd get another knock on the glass door. Turns out homeboy was staying at the Airbnb next to us. And he was part of, I think, an Innova like retail team that was tripped.
Yeah. They're all right though. You know, they're just trying to party. What else they gonna do? Sell fucking bolos?
And he's trying to party, and threw a big ass boulder, bro. Like the next morning, like when we could actually see stuff, because this was also like, we also forgot this had to be at like 11 at night, like
Something
midnight.
Like that,
It was late, and like it was a fucking full fledged like. Obviously, a big enough fucking rock to break a patio.
I don't know how I threw it that far, honestly. Like,
Dude,
some
like,
drone strength right there.
Yeah, you know he shot putted the fuck out of it. I wish there was like cameras where they should. He shot putted the fuck out of it. And yeah, but obviously they were cool enough. They said they would pay for the door. Everything was kind of copacetic.
Like I said, I was just worried that we were staying at an Airbnb that maybe we weren't, you know.
Yeah, TGBT has enough reasons not to like us. They don't need us to like break in patio doors or names attached to that.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I was kind of fully ready to be like, Trevor, just say it was us.
No,
say we just crashed.
I remember Trevor was specific, like, "Hey, we're not gonna mention you guys. Like, make sure you don't tell anybody we stayed there."
Yeah,
like, we got you. Like, we understand.
We're telling everybody now.
Listen, tell all. That's the best part about this podcast. You know.
So yeah, that was man, that had to have been one of the funniest fucking times. Like we were all ready to like fight, and like we thought it was some tweaker.
Just turned out to be Innova discs. So tweaker's not too far off.
Looking to share. That's so funny. Man, what a misguided, like, man, you fucked up bad, bro.
Yeah,
like, I kind of want to be like, bro, you kind of fucked this up.
Innova, man. Innova. But yeah, that was our, at least opening Austin. I think the only thing that happened to USW, because we didn't really, we were there for the last day.
I think we were there for like
the press conference day for sure.
Press conference last day, and then I think we made it to like part of the third day.
We just didn't do what we normally do, follow every card and stuff. We like just mingled at the vendor.
We were right. I do remember we were writing in
the brewery area.
Yeah,
right?
like we were both sitting writing stuff for stuff, and like sitting like next to the PDGA. And that was also back in the day when we were doing like daily vids, and so yeah, like I do remember like we didn't walk often, and again we can't film leader chase.
Yeah, so there wasn't a whole lot of options for the
so like there's
nothing we were gonna talk about.
Yeah, there's not much camera work, so we kind of used the opportunity to have like Wi-Fi in the brewery.
And sometimes when we played those courses,
also cool mint shops in there. I forgot that. Like a very cool mint shop was in there.
Yeah,
like a little small shop. That's nice.
The only thing that happened cool, I mean, prior to the actual event, we were at the press conference. I don't think we asked questions there. There was just too many people asking long, convoluted things that got sometimes answered.
Dude, he's talking about like Zilker's like fucking mood ring wearing necklace type dude that like looks like he works at the Renaissance. Like had to like eloquently speak of like every question.
He's the PDG.
Like let me give you the whole backstory and then ask like the easiest like, but how's this course measure? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but anyways, he's a very nice dude, but he didn't allow us any time to ask a question.
Well, so usually at this point you had Nate Perkins, Brian Earhart doing their thing, and then we would. I mean, this is like the fourth or third event, so we'd slip in when we can.
Yes.
And then you had Zillner jump in, so then it was like those three and didn't leave a whole lot of room. But we just let them do their thing, and we were early on. The coolest thing that came from the press is we had a viral-ish. You saw that bitch everywhere.
Everybody,
that beer clip that was viral because of us.
Yeah,
that went places because we clipped it.
Nobody wants.
All I could think was like, own beer disc golf, just disc generates.
Yeah,
put it out there, and they got like
People
saw that
like
everywhere,
people
man.
people then used it for their own.
Yeah,
every-
people made shirts of it that we saw and they were wearing it. We're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like it was pretty dope. And I liked it too because sometimes people were talking shit about it not being in focus. Yeah, totally on me. Totally on me. That's all, might be on that one. But and that's how I knew it was like our clip going around because I'm like, yes, hell yeah, it's not in focus. I know that's mine.
That's also when we learned really quick to put our logo on that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like that was we learned that after that one. We're like, oh man, that one is us.
I think
That was also we also kind of had another one
I
too.
was just, yeah, I totally forgot. I was
The Conrad
the
slip.
fall,
Yeah. That was me. Back in the early times, I would sometimes sit on holes just to try to get as many players. Because again, like one of our first viral was sitting on a hole, getting a bunch of pros, like was covered earlier. So we were still kind of in that motif. And I remember sitting on a hole, and for whatever reason, I decided to walk with James Conrad, and that's when he ate it, like because the tee pads were so bad. And Yuli was on the card, and like I know Tour Life everybody used that one.
It was
too.
in a thumbnail of someone's, I think, a Tour Life clip too. I was like, oh, that's ours.
Yeah, everyone uses that.
It was
no,
cool.
No one loves to give us credit on that stuff. It is what it is.
Also,
one of these days we'll get recognized.
Wasn't this where you captured Austin Turner's ace?
Oh man,
that was another one, right? Totally.
That was open at Austin too. Captured Austin Turner's ace, and Prezi almost didn't allow it. I think it was Prezi.
Like walked in front of it or something.
Yeah, dude, he was like lined up on it. It was either Prezi or I can't think of the other guy. It could have been. But yeah, anyways, caught that. Another round, used that. That was like a sick one, like no chain ace. Like that was a pretty wild one.
That was cool.
Same with like aced it earlier that tournament. But I was able to catch that one.
So we had a lot of cool actually Instagram viral clips that got used around.
Dude, the open on Austin scene was pretty good too. Like the good crowds. Like, and I remember like the other funny thing about Austin is like all the volunteers were like different clubs, then they're all competitive with each other's.
Yeah.
So it's it's like goddamn like blue barracudas and shit.
They were whack.
Like there was like it was like some but it was cool how they like these are our holes. So yeah, like cool community. But yeah, I do forget. Yeah, that was the James Conrad. That was bit everywhere. And then the own beer. That was right after because she fucking destroyed it at Open in Austin.
Yep.
That's how you got that cut.
Yeah, it was dope. That was cool.
It's amazing what editing can do.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's funny how all that happened. I just completely forgot about all of that stretch of time. It just comes at you fast, and you realize,
dude, it's weird how like everything blends in, especially when you don't. That's part of the problem is like when you don't leave. Like it's cool, smart wise, like tour like design, but like when you're there for 2 weeks and like same with like Waco, we were there for a week and a half, 2 weeks at Austin. And it was just like kind of like mushes together.
Yeah, the cool thing too about US Women's, that was the first title we used drama in it. If you want to go back to the Disco World lore, I titled the video the recap drama at US Women's or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, 18,000 views on a US Women's event. We're gonna take this title and go with it.
Yeah,
it wasn't popular apparently amongst the people. So,
no.
But another cool thing, content wise and title wise, that we were on here was the Lone Star drama controversy where Josh Hostro was released or left, or was that the Kramer stuff was going down too?
Yeah,
all that
I forgot about
nonsense
that
early on, and we covered it.
Yeah. We're the ones to say it out loud.
We were not only that, but we asked Josh if he wanted to say his piece on our show, and he politely declined, which felt strange to me. But it was early on in our content. Now I hope people know that this is our platform is theirs to use their voice.
And it's also like I know people who like there's people who like just hate watch this and will never believe it. But I also
it happens.
It comes with the territory making content. It is what it is. But I do remember like that video coming out. I want to say like that video came out either Friday or the day before Friday. Because like the next day on the course, everybody was like, fucking that video was great. Everybody in Austin. And everyone's like, off the record, everyone was like, hey, we've heard like plenty of stories, stuff like that. Like
Then we heard
they're still not
stories.
going away. Like to be fair, like there's still plenty of talk with that company of what's going on.
Well, man, I don't know what's all known, but like I just dropped the Carter Aaron stuff that wasn't really public, but I was like, screw it. I'm gonna let
Oh,
people
did
know
you
about-
drop that?
Yeah, I didn't say the exact number, but I always said this happened. And then I said Nico not getting paid alleged for stuff. That happened. Guys, think
Bro, I
about
gotta watch this video. You bore it out,
Bro,
huh?
yes, dude. Dead ass,
Fuck,
bro.
man.
Dead ass.
You didn't
'Cause
say the number. You should have said, hey, man. If he said the number, people's mouths would have dropped if you said the number that.
Yeah, because
heard.
it sounds stupid.
It sounds stupid.
It sounds
it's
dumb.
stupid, but not in a negative way, but still
No,
stupid.
but you know, obviously they didn't pay him, man. And
Yeah.
they kicked him off the team. Like,
Yeah.
it was stupid.
I don't
but-
think they kicked him off. But if you're not paying me, I'm gone. Like I think that was
Like,
part of that.
is that not getting kicked off? Like,
I
you can't believe we're gonna pay you significantly less money and then be like, accept it.
yeah.
Like that's gonna.
I don't even think did they offer that? Did they cut it or did they just say we don't have it?
That's the details got
that's the-
washy. It was
yeah,
more
that's-
like,
that's
it was
where we
this
could
and
never-
not paid. And
Yeah, that's
They
where we
wanted
couldn't like
100%.
lock it in. But yeah, poor Carter Aaron's too, because he just left like a pretty cool relationship.
with dynamic,
I thought he was like pretty tight with him.
it's the young kids. and
Fairly tight with
dynamic,
him.
That's just what it is.
But yeah, like man, no, that's on my to do watch.
it was all right, man.
You
Like,
kid with the you left me nothing to write on Friday.
No.
I got nice. I'm gonna be covering the awards that everyone else. Is
It's
covering.
Tuesday. You got hella time. What are you talking about? Fucking Tuesday.
Nice.
But I think that I can't think of anything else. Other than that, that was our Austin stretch.
Yeah, man. As far as Austin was legit.
I had a good time in Austin.
Like Austin is one of the stops that like I could recommend. Waco, I could recommend also, but like I would have to like say it's like
well, now that they're combining these two, it makes that tournament.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
well, like, yeah. I'm just saying like Waco. I'd have to have people understand like Austin has a lot more to do outside of disc golf than
Mhm.
Waco. Waco is like disc golf, smaller,
Mhm.
Magnolia. I guess if some people want to do that stuff. But yeah, so like different atmosphere, but Austin's tight. Like I said, Austin's got high potential.
Well, usually we recap the next event. I can't remember.
Oh
what's the next
man,
event?
Houston. This was probably like one of our first duds.
Texas States.
Yeah, Texas
Yeah, and
States.
AB just ran away with it, and I can't think of like any content that was significant we did.
Wow.
I can't even think of anything that happened really at Texas States.
I think most people on tour.
I was
Most
wondering-
people like right now is like, what did happen?
Yeah, I remember like Gannon shot like
yeah,
crazy
Gannon went
that
off.
one day, but it was
Yeah,
already
but it
AB was so
yeah.
far ahead. Kevin Kiefer let me throw a disc.
That was
I'm like,
Anakin Steen kind of surprised, got her first W there.
Yeah.
That was wasn't that also like a Weatherman breakout? Like she had one of her first good tournaments.
Yeah, she did go to U.S. Women's too, no?
Yeah, she did. She did.
Which I
some
remember
of-
she was at the press conference at U.S. Women's. That's where I first heard the name.
No, I think she was at the press conference at Texas State's. Yes, she was. I'm right on that one. You're wrong. It was Texas State's because Juliana Corver did it.
Gotcha.
I do remember that one. But anyways, no, yeah. And like we also stayed really off the property, like really far away. People complained about gunshots. You don't
Maybe.
remember that? Everybody was talking about the
No,
gunshots
no.
in the background.
No. Oh, on the coverage?
On the coverage, like everybody there, pros. Oh, you had a practice round with Kiefer. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was about it. There really wasn't much drama. We're gonna have to fucking lie.
Well, it wasn't Jonesboro the one after that?
Yeah, you want to combine Jonesboro? That's
Let's
another
combine
dud.
those two. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But didn't we go to
have a
Persimmon?
whole-
Well, no, we went to
We could have
Persimmon.
a whole episode on Persimmon.
Yeah, but we went to Persimmon before Jonesboro, wasn't
Oh,
it?
did we?
Yeah,
Did we?
I thought I went Waco. Or no, I thought I went
It did.
Houston.
yeah. Well, man, do you want to?
Oh man, all right, yeah, we all right. I'll put it together. So our preview next week will be Texas State's Houston stop really not much to talk about on that front.
No.
Round with Bergnerd
Oh yeah.
and Disc Golf World's first ticket.
Oh yeah, you did do that.
First ticket that I'm still angry about. And then the next one I think we combine either. I don't know if you want to do separate. This is all not going to be cut.
Yeah.
If you want to do Persimmon by itself or combine it with
No, we
Jonesboro.
can combine. Nothing happened at Jonesboro, so I don't really care. We combine it. But that's gonna wrap up this episode of 3 of That's Just Disc Golf. We previewed
No,
it.
4.
Fucking whatever, man.
Is it 4?
I have no idea.
Last time I thought you told me it was 3.
I think this was 3. I'm pretty sure this is 3. I don't know.
No, we did a preview.
Yeah.
We did chest. We did Waco. Preview, chest, Waco.
Yeah.
Now we're at
Preview
Austin
episode
4.
0, man. Come on.
Oh, all right.
All right. See you in the
Fuck
next
it.
one. We just ended this way.